Today we're reviewing the drama romance Lolita. Get ready for incredible plot twists. In 1947, in New England, Humbert gets a teaching position at Beardsley College in the United States. He moves into the home of a friend of his late uncle, the Michu family. However, upon arrival, he discovers that the house has burned down. Charlotte Hayes, a friend of the Mews and a widow, kindly agrees to take him in instead. He gets to know Charlotte, who praises him for his scientific knowledge and subtly flirts with him, saying she appreciates his French accent. She gives him a short tour of the house. During the tour, Humbert mentions that he might have to go back to New York. Charlotte remarks that Humbert must not be happy with their surroundings. Humbert tries to make an excuse by citing a conference he has to attend. Instead, she insists that he must see the square, and that's where they find Lolita. She is flipping through a magazine, soaking wet, with clothes that hide almost nothing, and her underwear is visible underneath. Humbert can't take his eyes off her. Lolita looks up, smiles at him, and shows her braces. He mutters that she is beautiful and asks Charlotte how much the room costs. Lolita comes into his room and says she is bored. Humbert encourages her when she comes closer to him. She sits on his lap and asks if he sees a pimple on her. He tells her that he thinks she is perfect, and she smiles, asking if he is interested in seeing how her chin sways. He agrees, and she shows him. Charlotte calls out to him, and Lolita instantly jumps up and runs away. Charlotte catches Lolita as she runs to her room, and Humbert tries to get rid of the gum that Lolita left on his notebook. He manages to tear the gum off the paper and puts it in his mouth. Charlotte asks him if Lolita is disturbing him, but he denies it. Charlotte decides to send Lolita to camp. On the day she leaves, Humbert hurriedly looks out the window as they get into the car. Lolita sees him looking out the window and runs out of the car, back up the stairs, into Humbert's arms. She hugs him and kisses him goodbye. The girl smiles and runs back to the car. Later, Charlotte confesses that she loves Humbert and asks him to leave before she returns. If he doesn't, it will only mean that he wants to be with her as much as she wants to be with him. Not wanting to be away from Lolita, Humbert stays and marries Charlotte despite not liking her. One day, when he returns home, he finds Charlotte crying at the table. She found a way to get into his secret drawer and read his diary, in which he did not hide his honest opinion of her and how much he liked Lolita. She calls him a criminal monster, says she is leaving, and swears that he will never see Lolita again. He tells her that they both need a drink and goes to pour them. Humbert receives a phone call informing him that Charlotte has died. Humbert realizes that Charlotte is no longer at her desk. The front door is open wide. He goes out and finds her lifeless body in the middle of the street. In a hurry, she threw herself under the wheels of a car. She was on her way to send letters to everyone warning them about Humbert's evil deeds against children. The first thing he does is pick up Lolita from camp. In the car, Lolita asks about Charlotte, and Humbert tells her that she is in the hospital with a stomach problem. He tells her that he missed her, and Lolita replies that she did not miss him. She tells him that she thinks he doesn't care about her because he hasn't kissed her yet. They park on the side of the road, and Lolita immediately climbs into his lap so they can kiss. At the hotel where they are staying, Humbert talks to the receptionist, and Lolita crawls up to a dog and plays with him for a moment. The mysterious owner remarks that his dog doesn't like many people but surprisingly likes Lolita. She asks him what kind of people the dog likes, and he replies that it likes nice people like her. While Lolita is getting ready for bed, Humbert goes outside. He runs into the man Lolita was talking to earlier. He tells him that Lolita is his daughter, but the other man knows he is lying. He asks about Lolita's mother, and Humbert tells him that she is dead. The man invites them both to lunch tomorrow, but Humbert declines, saying they will be leaving soon. Humbert leaves, feeling that the meeting was strange. The next morning, Lolita wakes him up and tells him about all the secrets she had been making at camp. He asks her if she really did it with Charlie at camp. She playfully tells him that she guesses she needs to show him and starts to unbutton his pajama pants. Back on the road, Lolita asks him if he could take her to a gas station because she is in pain. He looks at her in a panic. When they arrive, Lolita turns and asks Humbert for some change to call Charlotte at the hospital. He tells her that she can't answer, and the girl asks why she can't get in touch with her mother. Humbert finally tells her the truth. They travel across the United States, and Lolita visibly misses Humbert. Finally, they stop at Beardsley College, where Humbert gets a teaching position. He talks about being in heaven despite the fuss she makes when they arrive at Beardsley College. He also gets Lolita into the very liberal Beardsley Preparatory School. One afternoon, Lolita tells Humbert that she would like to take part in the school play. Humbert already knows about this and refuses. She tries to seduce him to get her way, telling him that she has the right to be in the play if she wants to. She declares that she wants a lot of things too, just as he wants a lot from her. She demands that he increase her allowance and allow her to act in the play. Humbert finds out that Lolita has missed her last 2 piano lessons. He asks her what she was doing, and she explains that she was rehearsing a play with Mona. He calls Mona, and the girl admits that they rehearsed in the park. Humbert doesn't believe her, and they start to fight. He accuses Lolita of trying to run away from him, which she does not deny. He demands that she return the money he gave her, but she says she earned it. He beats her, and she asks him to kill her the same way he took her mother's life. He asks her to stop, but she refuses and continues to accuse him. She screams and runs away from him. Humbert finds Lolita at the pharmacy. She quickly tries to hide the fact that she was on the phone. She tells him that she has been trying to reach him since she made her decision. She wants to leave Beardsley and go on another journey, but this time she chooses where they go. He agrees. Lolita decides that they need to get to Weiss in a week. Humbert asks why, and Lolita explains that they have to see the ceremonial dance in the Magic Caves. In 2 weeks and 4 days, they have to be at Elphinstone to climb the Red Rock. She shows Humbert the map and says she is very excited. On the way, Humbert notices that they are being followed. He asks her to write down the license plate number and realizes that a detective is following them. Humbert becomes paranoid, unable to keep his eyes on the road. One day, he keeps looking over his shoulder, and as a result, they get a flat tire. When he goes to fix the tire, a car that was following them stops a few feet away. He decides to argue with the driver but realizes too late that Lolita has taken control of the car and is driving away. He catches up to her because she wasn't going fast enough and orders her to hit the handbrake. She tells him that he should be grateful to her because she stopped the car. Back on the road, Humbert asks Lolita to give him the notebook on which she wrote down the license plate number. He discovers that she has forged what she wrote. He says her name and slaps her hard as she faces him. She gets out of the car and runs away in frustration. Humbert catches up with her and apologizes. They drive to Crawford's cottages on Lake Point and stay there for the night. He goes out to the barbershop and hears on the radio that Quilty can't be in the studio because he's in Vance. When he returns to their room, he finds Lolita in a mess with dirty feet and smeared lipstick. He tells her she's been out, but she lies, saying she just got up. He throws her on the bed and begs her to tell him the truth. She just smiles at him, kisses him, and laughs. Lolita is sick, so Humbert takes her to the hospital where she stays overnight. The doctor asks him to leave, otherwise he will get infected too. The next day, he calls to check on Lolita. The nurse tells him that Lolita is feeling much better and that her uncle Gustav came and discharged her. Humbert asks her who exactly, and she repeats herself, describing Quilty. Humbert goes to the hospital and looks into the room where he last saw Lolita. The bed has been made, and the flowers he brought for her have been thrown in the trash. He attacks the doctor, looking for Lolita, and they try to hold him down. He sees the police arrive and calms down, apologizing sincerely before leaving. Humbert tries to find her by going back to all the places they visited, but he can't locate her because he doesn't know who kidnapped her. Eventually, the trail he follows fades away. Years later, Humbert returns to Beardsley, defeated and exhausted. After 3 years, he receives a letter from Lolita. She tells him that she is married, pregnant, and needs money to help her and her husband survive. She shares that she has experienced a lot of grief and hardship. Humbert goes to see Lolita and finds a mature version of her. She greets him warmly, and he notices that she is injured. Lolita invites him in, and he realizes that he is still looking for the man who kidnapped her. Lolita explains that her husband had nothing to do with it. He gets up, saying he will find out for himself, and she is surprised that he really doesn't know anything. Finally, she tells him that it was Quilty. Lolita tells Humbert that Quilty was the only man she was truly crazy about. Humbert asks her about the feelings between them, and she gets up and goes to the kitchen. Humbert follows her, asking where Quilty has taken her. She tells him that everyone knew Quilty loved little girls so much that he filmed them in his mansion. Lolita refused to participate in his films, telling Quilty that she was only interested in him. After that, Quilty kicked her out. For the last time, Humbert asks her to accompany him. Lolita thinks he's offering her money if she sleeps with him in a motel, but Humbert denies it. He tells her that she will still get the money even if she refuses. Lolita is disbelieving when she finds $4,000 in an envelope. He asks if there is any chance she will go with him, but she refuses. He leaves, but before he does, he asks her if she can ever forget what he did to her. Instead of answering, she asks her dog to say goodbye to him. It turns out that Humbert went to Quilty's estate and killed him. Humbert drives recklessly down the road, and the police pursue him. The movie ends with the police catching Humbert and sending him to prison, where he dies of coronary thrombosis. Lolita dies the following month from childbirth. It is important to note that most of the movie is told from Humbert's point of view, who had a distorted view of Lolita's feelings for him. Lolita was actually manipulated and used by him throughout their relationship. The movie itself is very mild compared to what really happened. Thank you for being with us. Subscribe to the channel, like us, and be sure to click on the bell to stay updated with our new videos.